Hello, my ghouls and goblins. Let's get ready for a coffee date, shall we? I don't have a lot of time this morning, but I still wanted to put some makeup on today because later this afternoon my partner's parents are taking us out for dinner for my birthday. And I do know that whenever I have makeup on, I do feel a little bit more confident about my appearance, which can impact my mood. And I am currently in the process of applying for grad school, so I need all of the motivation that I can get. I don't know why I clapped like that. So without further ado, let's start the face. Starting, of course, with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And then for foundation, we are going to be using the Yensa BC foundation again. I have it in the shade Light Neutral. I'm just going to apply that with a damp beauty sponge. Usually if I'm rushing to do makeup, I wouldn't use something that needs a sponge. I would use probably a foundation that I know works well with a brush just because I find it easier and it's one less step of having to prepare a sponge. But lately I've really been liking how this one looks on my skin. It does have SPF in it. Mine is old enough that the SPF has expired. So I do have an SPF underneath. I would highly recommend that you do the same. The SPF I use is actually one from Trader Joe's and it is really, really nice. I thought it had like a really silicone-y, not silicone-y, but like almost like the Smashbox, is it the primerizer? That feeling where it's kind of like almost a gelatinous powder in your hand. I don't know how else to explain it. And so I was worried it would just cause my makeup to slide off my face, kind of creating a film, but it makes my skin feel really smooth and I haven't had any issues with my makeup on top of it, so it's a really nice one. I take it down on my chin and under my neck as well. Full coverage. I have a lovely little face demon right there. Not even a face demon, neck demon. Every once in a while I'll get like a bad pimple on my neck. Where I usually used to get a lot of acne is around my chin, which I guess is where hormonal acne is usually located. As I've gotten older and figured out my skincare, it's for the most part been cleared up. For concealer, you know it, the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in Medium Peach. Don't feel like I have too much to cover right now. I can feel a big cysty pimple coming in right here, which I think honestly I have a recurring one there. If it gets bad enough, maybe I'll go in and get it looked at, but it is what it is when you're a young adult. The sun is just coming up outside. It was still dark when I woke up. It's not that late. It's about 8:06 currently. Our plan was to get out of the house at 8:30, but it's a fluid plan, so we'll get out when we get out. And then we're actually going to do highlighter next because I'm using a kind of cream to powder highlighter. And the way this formula works, it works better if you put it under blush first, because otherwise if you're rushing it on your face, you might remove some of it. This is the Phytosurgeon's Spectral Shine in the shade Mirrored Moonlight. You'll see that my pan is really disgusting. This is a product that you really have to work around with your brush, but it's got a beautiful golden sheen to it. And the way that the finish is it more diffuses light versus an actual highlighter. So people have actually used this to set their whole face or under their eyes. And there's multiple shades in this. This is the second from the lightest shade. And there it is with some of the product on there. This did take quite a bit of a learning curve for me, and it seems to be the case for a lot of people with this product, because when I think of like a cream highlighter, I think of something that's got a lot of oomph to it, or maybe even the ColourPop Super Shock cheek highlighters where they have that kind of bouncy creamy feel to them and give you like a wet look when they are applied to the skin. Not really the case with this one, but it's still absolutely stunning and can look extremely natural and just almost gives you a lit from within glow. So it's going to be really subtle, but I can build it up a little bit here for you. You can really see it when I apply it to my nose. It's a straight on kind of concentrated area of highlight that I like to apply. And usually what I like to do with my nose highlighter is I like to put a little dot here and then a line with a little gap to make some contouring, but with this, just slap it all over. And of course you can't forget the Cupid's bow. You can try using your fingers with this. You'll see that it's a pretty hard texture and it really needs to be warmed up underneath either your brush or your skin. And then I'm just gonna blend the edges around to make sure that it looks properly blended. Right proper blend. Now that I have it applied to my face, you can see how dirty the brush is after one application. But you can see the diffused lit from within look here. For blush, we're taking yet another Phytosurgeon's product. This is their Skin Spark in the shade Fume, which is a beautiful kind of toasted mauve. This was my blush all throughout summer. Now don't laugh at me. The way that I've been applying these products is by taking my finger in there, warming it up, and then tapping it on the cheeks, and then blending it out with a brush. But what I've seen online, because I follow Phytosurgeons on Instagram, is people dipping their brush in the actual pot, which I tried that yesterday with a different shade and it was gorgeous. Easy to blend out, easy to build up. It was gorgeous. So I'm just using the Real Techniques contour brush. We're gonna dip into the product here. Might need a little bit of warming up. This might not be the best shape of brush to do this with, but oh well. And then we're just going to start building that up here on the cheeks. There we go. From what I know, this is one of their best selling blushes, and it makes a lot of sense because it's absolutely drop dead beautiful, and it can work on so many skin tones. That's the really nice thing about this particular product, their Skin Sparks, is that they can be really sheared out if you have lighter skin tone or aren't really into a huge blushed look, or you can really, as we've seen with one of my videos, pack it on and create quite the impact. Now typically if I were rushing, I also would not be using a cream blush, but I've got the itch. The nice thing too about having used a beauty sponge is that if I get too much anywhere, I can just go over whatever I think is too much on my face with the back of my sponge and reblend it out. And then now I'm gonna do my blonde tour, just adding a little bit here and there around my nose and right here. I think that gives a really good youthful glow with some shape to it. I don't know how that got up there. So there's the blush and the highlighter on. It's pretty dark in my room because it's kind of dark outside. And like I said, with the end of my beauty blender, no actual product put back on there, I'm just gonna blend in the edges that kind of got away from me. To set my face, you guessed it, the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder for under my eyes and my eyelids, and then the e.l.f. HD Powder in Sheer. Especially when I have cream products on, I tap my powder in first so I don't disturb the product, and then when I feel like I have a good enough powder barrier on top of them, then I'll start swirling and tapping and blending and all the good things you do with setting powder. That highlighter is also touted as being kind of a setting powder. Once you put it on the skin and it settles in, it almost has a powdery finish to it because it's so diffusing. For brows, I usually skip brows, especially if I'm rushing, because I never do my brows, like rarely, for just rare occasions, special occasions. But for the sake of the video, I'll just use the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I believe I have it in the shade, yes, Neutral Brown. I like to set my face mostly just to have all the powders and products mesh together. I don't know if it really does anything for longevity, but you know, placebo effect. So we're just using the e.l.f. Micro Mist setting spray. Really low on this, so it's getting a little on my face. Okay, let's zoom you guys in for eyes. Prime the eyes with the Ulta Matte Eye Primer. Since I'm only using, I think I'm just gonna use one shadow. The nice thing about this product is that the color is opaque enough that it kind of blocks out any veins or discoloration that I have on my eyes that I may want to be evened out. Plus this is such a smooth eye primer. I really enjoy it. Something I've been doing too once I set my face is when I notice that I feel like my blush has gone down a little bit too far into my cheekbones, I'll go in with that Essence powder with a denser brush and then just kind of carve out my jawline a little bit more here. And then to make my eyes look super awake even though I'm really tired, of course I'm going in with my Essence Silky Nude Long Lasting Eyeliner Pencil in the waterline and a little bit into my tear duct there. And then setting the primer with a teeny tiny bit of that Essence powder. Okay, eyeshadow. This is quite possibly one of my favorite eyeshadow combo colors, duochromatic, whatever, that I find everywhere. It's kind of a red, blue, brown mixture, and it's just gorgeous. This is yet another Phytosurgeon's product. I am in love with all of the products I've tried from this company, and their eyeshadows are amazing because of the way that the pigment works, in that you can sheer it out, build it up, again like the blush. Especially this shade, they're really good for a single shadow look. This is in the shade Deeply Rooted. We'll see if the camera can just capture how magical this shade is, how fluid that color shift is. In some lights it looks super red, super brown, and in other lights it looks really bright blue. So the first wash I'm going to use a brush for, and I'm just going to start applying this on the lid, and then with whatever product is left after I deposit it there, I'm going to blend it into the crease. And I'm just using a slightly loosely packed, rounded, square brush. I don't know how else to call it. It looks like this. But even with just one sheer application, you can see how much depth that gives the eyes. And like I said, this is a product that can really be built up. If you go again onto their Instagram, they have lots of swatches of this particular product where it can look like a couple different products because of the way that it can be blended out, built up, etc. And then taking a more densely packed pencil-like brush, I'm just going to take that shade and swipe it underneath my eyelids. I'm 9 times out of 10 a person that likes to do shadow and mascara on my lower lashes. I just find it makes it all cohesive, but there are times where I won't and I'll skip it and it makes my eyes look very large and I look very youthful. Plus, I have never ever been a person that has understood how people do not get mascara on their lower lash line. Like, I don't know if it's just that the way my lashes curl in or the way that I'm applying my mascara, but it always makes a mess down there. So maybe I shouldn't be doing that, but especially if I'm doing a grungy look, it kind of adds to it. Okay, and then just kind of blending that out with whatever's left on this brush right now. Okay, and there's one sheer application. And now we're gonna go in with our finger, warm it up again with our skin. And here you can see more of the depth that this color can have when you build it up. Starting in the center of the eye and then tapping outwards to blend that out. This is one of their darker, more vampy shades. They do have quite a few lighter and warmer shades, some cooler. I have, 2 other ones in this product, and I love them all. I just like, I don't know, there's just something magical about this brand to me and their products and how, what's the word? And just how versatile these products are. And there it is built up. You can see where it's sheared out on my lids. It looks like a completely different product than whatever is on the majority of my lid. We're just gonna do some extra blending for good measure because I have no time for that. And then of course for my inner corner highlight, we're going to be using the Super Shock Shadow from ColourPop in the shade Kush, or Koosh Ball, I'm not sure, K-O-O-S-H, Koosh. I start with my pinky first, and then we'll apply more with a more precise pencil brush and blend it out with a fluffier brush. This is a process that I have figured out. Chef's kiss. And then of course taking a fluffy brush and just blending out those edges so it's a little bit less stark. And then whatever is left from blending out this product, we're just gonna sweep up here. Might not be a lot, but whatever. And then something that I like to do is I like to add just a little almost tight line of liquid black liner along my lashes just to make them look thicker. This is the Essence Liquid Ink Waterproof Eyeliner. I can't find this on Ulta. I haven't seen it in stores. I need to look at their website, but I don't know if they're making this anymore, which makes me sad because this is like one of my favorite liners and I need waterproof. The older I've gotten, the more watery my eyes have become, and I also wear contacts, so that doesn't help. And I only go about halfway across my eye. For mascara, nothing new here. It's the waterproof CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. Again, I need waterproof. And then I'm just scraping off the excess so I get less of a mess on my lower lash line. Which I already made a mess, so yay me. This is the process for me that takes the longest because I try to be so precise and not make a big mess. Curl the lashes. I curl each eye at a time. I don't know, I can't imagine that they make a thing that clamps them both at the same time. But what I mean is that I curl one lash and then do my mascara and then curl the other lash and apply mascara to that eye. And that's because I don't want my lashes falling in between applications of mascara, because like I said, this is the most time consuming part for me. And the nice thing about waterproof mascara is that usually it'll hold a curl better. So if you find that you have really kind of stubby, short, stubborn lashes that don't want to stick or want to stick out straight, then curling your lashes for a while and doing one at a time is a good idea. But also waterproof mascara has been better for me, at least, for holding a curl and shape and definition. It can be a little bit harder to get off though, so if you are struggling with lash loss, try saying that 5 times fast. Lash loss, lash loss, lash, I can't even do it 3 times. If you're struggling with lash loss, definitely be gentle when you're taking it off. You know, use an oil, use a beauty balm, a makeup removing balm. My favorite ever is the Soap and Glory, I think it's called Glow Your Mind makeup removing balm, and Ulta used to sell it and Target used to sell it, and now I can't find it anywhere, which sucks. I feel like I have the curse of Samantha Ravndal and also Taylor Wynn, where all the things that I love are becoming discontinued. Alright, so I'm normally not ever a lipstick wearer except for maybe super special occasions. I just don't like to mess around with it and how I have to worry about my lip lines or smearing it everywhere, especially if I'm drinking coffee or going out. So I'm just going to be using a nude gloss. I believe this is a So Juicy nude gloss from ColourPop. It is a plumping one. There is a little bit of a cool feeling to it. I find it really comfortable and if anything kind of moisturizing because sometimes I feel like if it's plumping and stingy, it dries out your lips. Alright, and here's the finished look. We did it pretty quick. Could be quicker. I do have 10-minute makeup that I can do. I say 10 minutes because it would be like 5 minutes of applying makeup, but then the next 5 minutes would be applying mascara. Alright, let's go get some coffee. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I hope to see you in the next one. And as always, I hope you are able to treat yourself with the same kindness that you so easily extend to others. Thanks. Bye. Where are you? Okay. Hello, are you taking stock of me talking now? It's a liquid plant. No, that sounds disgusting. So this is the Phytosurgence Spectral Shine. Oh, why is that turning that color? I don't like that. God damn it. Every time. Fucking piece of shit. Furnace. Yeah, that helped. It'd be great if you stopped screaming. And then blending it out with a okay. No. I'm scared. Scary. Everything's so dark on this side. You can't even see it behind that. Prime the eyes with the e.l.f. matte. Nope. I'm just gonna put a lip balm on because I'm crusty. Promise that one was for syncing the audio purposes. Then of course to make my eyes look more awake, even though it's super early on a Sunday for me, when I should, no, it's not even super early. Oh, is there a baby bean out there? No, what I hear. Whack, I thought I heard my cat scratching her head. I feel like I'm posing for senior pictures. I want to gag. 38 minutes. I think that's the shortest one I've ever done. Oh. Go home, you're drunk.